Welcome to Ask the Security Guy. I'm your host, Holly Magnuson, and this is your YouTube episode number 47. And if you're listening to us on one of the podcast platforms, it's episode number 17, recorded for October 2019. Once again, I'm here with our very own certified ethical hacker, CPT and CISSP certified, Shawn Corman. Shawn, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Holly. How are you today?
It's been a long week, but we're doing okay.
Good
But
deal.
I am a little concerned and worried about our topic because it's dealing with an app that is near and dear to my heart, and that would be one that might affect many in our APU community.
Yeah, I can absolutely understand why. I mean, especially as I sit in church on Sunday and look around, and when the pastor says, "Please open your Bible too," and everybody whips out their phone.
Yep. And if you haven't guessed, we are referring to the YouVersion Bible app with over 100 million downloads and a 4.8 rating based on over 2 million ratings. So people love this app.
It is well loved, well received, and well used.
Yes. And when I'm traveling, I attend Life Church via their online platform, and it's Life Church who developed the YouVersion Bible. So, Shawn, can you explain to us what the controversy is?
So it was brought to my attention this week, and I know we kind of tabled all of our normal topics to address this one. Popular Mechanics and did a blog article on it, and they sourced their article off of an article written by a blogger over at ExpressVPN, who were talking really about data privacy and data collection and aggregation and all of that stuff. And the Popular Mechanics article was really about the top 7 apps that you should delete from your phone because of how they collect data, and in some cases you know what they're sharing, in other cases you don't, in other cases they're collecting everything about you, and you may or may not have agreed to that. So there's there were a lot of thoughts raised by the article.
Very, very much so. I read the article.
What's that?
I said I read the article, so yes.
Yeah. So a lot of concerns, a lot of thoughts. I've read the article too, and there was also another one on Slate with a similar flavor. Basically, and the question that came to me, and Holly, you raised this as well, is this is coming through a pretty well-known, well-respected media outlet.
Yes.
Do I have to worry? Should I worry?
The answer is probably, but let's keep going.
So there's this is one of those gray areas. If you haven't ever read the YouVersion privacy policy, bible.com/privacy, do so. I know everyone, all of our users out there, for every app that they have installed on their phone, for every website that they go to, and for every app that they use in other devices, they absolutely read the terms of use and the privacy policy for the company and the app that they're signing up for. Now, maybe I'm being a little naive here, but I would like to think. All right, fine. But I would like to think that after all this time, our users are at least going to be the ones that go out and read this fine print and say, maybe not, or at least ask the question.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, the Popular Mechanics article is out there saying these are the top 7 apps that you should delete. So I started thinking about that. It's like, okay, top 7 apps I should delete. So what are they? And I thought it was pretty interesting. So I'm sitting there looking at this, and it struck me as funny. Number 1, Angry Birds. Number 2, Gas Buddy. Number 3, IPVanish VPN. Which is kind of funny that ExpressVPN wasn't on this list. Oh, by the way, when I went to double check sources this morning, I noticed that ExpressVPN's main website had a certificate error, and Google was blocking access to their website because of it. It's since been resolved. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, nice. I want them for my VPN.
So number 4, Facebook.
Of course, we all know Facebook should go.
Number 5. Let me see here. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Number 5 is a list of apps on the Google Play Store that may or may not be installed with the Joker malware.
Ah.
Number 6, Cam Scanner, which is basically a document scanner that uses your phone's camera.
Yeah, that hit a couple of weeks ago that it was full of bad bugs.
Yeah. And then number 7, last but not least, YouVersion, where there, as the author puts it, the most popular Bible app, YouVersion, is installed on about 300 million phones as of this year, and apparently it is the app's divine right to collect all your data. So, nice little sarcastic tone there. I applaud the author, but I don't necessarily agree. Here's why. I read the privacy policy for YouVersion. I've read Facebook's privacy policy, the latest version, because it changes, every other week. Yeah. I've also read a number of other Facebook policies, which change frequently, and their data usage policies. And I've had people question me about, well, what about the privacy of my data with social media? Generically, any free service means that you are giving them your data in payment. There is no such thing as a free lunch.
Nope.
Now, YouVersion comes at this from a different premise. They are providing, as part of their missions outreach, the app and the updates to the app in an ongoing fashion. They are not in this for money. So there's a distinct difference here. YouVersion is produced by a church for the purpose of missions outreach. Okay? The data that they collect in accordance with their privacy policy is to customize your user experience. So they're looking to use user data collected for statistical information that improves the app, geographic region being included. So one of the questions was raised is, why are they collecting my location data? Well, they need to know where their app's being used in the world.
Well,
and are they publishing Bibles in the correct languages that support those different regions where they're seeing their app pop up as being used?
And as my pastor does, he posts the notes for the Sunday sermon. When I go to the app, as soon as I hit events, it knows where I'm at and pulls up the notes for my pastor.
Yep. So part of the difference in the use of the data is what really matters here. Facebook is using it for profit. Mm-hmm. Instagram is using it for profit. So is Twitter. Any company out there that has a free product is using your data to enhance their bottom line. That's it. Now, how they protect your data, how they use your data, how they de-identify your data, how they aggregate your data varies. Life Church TV and Bible.com/privacy do a pretty good job of explaining that for certain types of data analysis that they share with third parties for a detailed understanding or a breakdown analysis of their data, they de-identify it or they aggregate it, which means that the you piece of that is gone. You just become a number or a unique identifier that is disassociated from your actual identity. And then they use that data to enhance the product in a variety of ways. So the author of this article also, throws some shade on the integrity of the privacy policy. Well, they say this, but do they really do it? Well, that's a fair question, especially in this day and age where we've seen Facebook have a number of data breaches and has been charged for misuse and misappropriation of user data. Facebook being one of the most well-known out there. It's interesting when you see Zuckerberg at a congressional hearing.
Yeah, we've not seen Craig Rochelle there yet.
Yeah. So I think people have a valid reason to question.
Yeah.
And I support that, and I actually encourage that.
Yes.
So while I'm not entirely thrilled, because there's a part of me that is actually quite loyal to YouVersion, I use it myself, as do many others at APU and outside of APU worldwide, obviously.
Yep.
I respect where it came from. I respect the efforts of the church behind it. I understand their mission, and I think you would have to fully understand the nature of missions to really get what's driving the people who make this app. It's a very different emotional and psychological driver than a profit or a bottom line. So for a secular author or a secular blogger to understand that would probably be a little outside of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't blame them for having a perspective like that. It is, in my opinion, entirely appropriate for them to question.
It goes back to your trust no one philosophy.
Yeah. Well, very much so. But at the end of the day, I know this, and Holly, you raised this as well. This is something that is very near and dear to us, to our listeners, and very specific to who we are. And I know this is probably a little outside of our normal paradigm for Ask the Security Guy, but I felt like it needed to be addressed. It's a data privacy matter. It's a data privacy concern. And while privacy and security aren't necessarily the same thing, this is one where I'm absolutely going to address it from that perspective. So, my thoughts.
Very nice. Yeah, and having attended Life Church off and on now for over 3 years, I do know what their heart is for missions and the importance of getting God's words in people's hands. So, yeah.
I mean, the Gideons have a similar mission. Bibles in all those hotel rooms all over the world. Their mission has been that same thing: get the word into the hands of people. And they have so many testimonies of people who were in awful circumstances in their life and opened that drawer and there was a Gideon Bible. And it opened up to exactly the passage that the person needed to hear at that time.
Yep.
Speaking of that, YouVersion and all of the data that they collect, sorry, I'm being a little snarky here.
Never.
Did produce an interesting statistic that they shared publicly.
Oh, yes.
In 2018, the most bookmarked, highlighted, and read verse in the entire Bible among all those 300 million some phones was this: Isaiah 41:10. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. That is a powerful message.
Yep.
That verse is, and there are a number of other of God's promises in the scriptures that are equally powerful, if not more so.
Yeah.
But in reading that, the interesting thing about the word is it always meets you where you are. So for an app to be in the hands of over 300 million phones, that is the word potentially being in over 300 million hearts and minds.
Yep.
Worldwide. So do I trust Life Church TV and their use of my data because I am a user of this app? Yeah, I actually do.
I do too. Hey, if Pastor Craig wants my information, it's his. So we are nearing to our time, Shawn. You did that very nice wrap up there with that passage in those words. As a reminder, this is the pre-recorded month. And if you have any questions about this episode, Feel free to email us at iso@apu.edu. I will be back next month in November for probably our holiday shopping episode, because that is an important time of the year coming just around the corner. So with that,
we'll see.
Yeah, something bigger might happen and we have to postpone our shopping episode. But be advised that we will be watching what's going on in our world and in regards to shopping safety, because there's always seems to be somebody figuring out a new way to try to take our money. So.
Absolutely.
And so with that, I will say goodbye, Shawn.
Holly, have a great one.
Yeah, and just remember, folks, don't give away your username and password.
Ever.
Ever.